Think I'm crazy, right? I don't know why. I always try and stay to the script. I always try and, if the beginning is that's how it is, then the end has to end that way because the ends always meet the means. So it all has to go whoop or grab itself. You know what I mean? It's whoop, whoop. It's like Pac-Man. The circle closing. Always lets in, you know what I mean? But when I was a kid, we used to do a lot of things that involved altering our amino acids. It was awakening that time, and I believe everybody should do that. And I think you would learn a lot more from the realities around you and how to use your inner self to see your outer self. But we used to watch this movie. It was called "The Things That Will Not Be or Were Not Ever." Or the fuck was it called? It was a kick-ass cartoon movie, but it was these things that lived, that never lived, and they were always now, but they weren't really here because they had already been gone. It was really wild. I gotta figure out what the name of them. I gotta find Alan, figure out the name of that movie. That new movie was so beyond its beyond. It was wild, dude. Because everything had happened, didn't happen, and never will happen, but already happened. And couldn't have happened because it was never here. The plausibility of this place being never had been, but always has. It was wild anyway. But it's not a basis of me being crazy. It's just a basis of me seeing the base. It's happening. To know that it's there. Like there's no sound, but there's always things talking. I don't hear the voice, but when I look at it, my eyes is pointing at it. It's things that are left in front of you are left in front of you for a reason. All you're seeing is what you're doing and not what's doing it for you. Why was that brought to my sight? Why was the evolution of this paradigm in my path? Did I make it evolve or did it evolve? Has it been altered by another path? Can wisdom be gained by it? Or should I just dump it into a ram and run with the ROM? And go till the next arbitratum of factual or unfactual memory needs to be conditioned, cleansed, and dumped. Does this affect the general stasis of reality? Does this affect the general stasis of reality? Does this affect the general stasis of reality? What is reality? That's all it is. Is it really there? Because you see it in front of you, is it part of you? If that was true, then everything you see in front of you would be a part of you, right? So if you could see your hand in front of your face, like playing video games like that where you're the gun, where you can see your hands in the gun, that's part of you, correct? Is it really? Is anything part of you? Because you're seeing it, are you in it? Am I in my hand? Am I in my foot? And to look at a reflection, where do I leave to? I said to my reflection, we've got to get out of this place. That's why I think that Amish need not have reflection, because they know what they see is them. To precede is to perceive. To recede is to perceive. Reflection is natural reality, and the mirror is a causality to create another dimension, another. How do you know when you turned away from the mirror you're coming, you're going to the same ending? How do you know things didn't change? That's why shattering a mirror isn't bad luck. You just never know where you could end up. Because now there's hundreds of thousands of you turning away at one time. Once you turn your back, you can turn back. But will you end up in the same place? Is the mission the same? You don't need to see to know you're here. Correct? Right? Like, if I was to shave, I don't shave in front of a mirror. Why would I shave in front of a mirror? I don't need to see an alternate reality to know what I'm doing. I can see through my feeling of something. Correct? Because even if you shave with a straight razor as thin as you can get your hairs, it might appear that there is nothing, no stubble, no nothing. But if you rub your hand upon it, which is what you cannot see, it is there. So why would reflecting the thought that could have a transverse effect on the reality of causality of where it goes next, because who knows when you return to view the symbol again, which is your reflected self out of another place, because it's just another ISP, that you could lose yourself in. You could end up on the wrong side of the tally. Just because you turned around and you see the same things around you doesn't mean that you haven't changed the ends, the way things are going next. You could be someplace else. I don't know. Just trying to tell you. Processing of menials is very vital to survival. What you cling to those menials and how you deal with those menials causes intemporal forces in your thought process, in your vibratory reality of reception. I don't know. I'm not crazy. It's just pulsars. Every sound is an echo for an interminate amount of time. Just because you are not hearing it doesn't mean it's not ringing off the hook. Every terminal unlodged, dissident farce space could be a ring to something you aren't looking at or wanting to see in the stance of dimension you stand, because every frequency is vibrating at the same time, higher and lower. You can cling, you can pass on, you can do a lot of things. But a lot of people cling to different things. It's not about clinging. It's what were you told in the beginning. That's got to be the end. That's why they always talk about population decreasing. Because they know thousands of years ago their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather told them this is how it was. This, if you do this, you will receive this. And they rock right down that path. All kinds of different dumb shit happen in between. But all they know is it has to look exactly the same as it started to be the end. Because all the ends meet the means. So the end has to look like the beginning looks like the end. Big man. And everything that happens in between, you stick to the ROM, dump into the RAM, and roll down the corridor all the way. Hopefully you can keep the Earth, keeping the other systems grounded so there's no electrical turbulence that can cause illicit reactions. Failed experiments, wrong joinders. Hey, good luck. And when you meet a crazy person, always say hi and be nice.